you know, the precursor of the Army, what is called the Army National Guard today. Could we use his picture in the book? And we said, absolutely, please cover him. Come here, stay here, dine here. They've been here many times, and we were featured in 3 books. And that's how Ishmael got into Osprey Men at Arms, the preeminent warfighter series of books in every museum worldwide. So if you know Osprey Men at Arms, they're published out of Cambridge, England. We were so proud, like, holy heck, this is like on a roll here. It's like a snowball coming down the hill to have this much happen. And so then that is when we talked about, like, really it's a goal, because when he was in federal court twice, and his memory at 100 and some years old was not that good anymore, with the specific battles that he fought out, the troop movements. I mean, come on. I'm having trouble remembering certain things right now. I'm 55 and I write myself notes, okay? To add another 50 years to that, and remember they said his recantation of the facts and stuff is not all there, so we're going to deny it. They denied his federal pension in 1832, which pisses me off. So, but anyway, we'll get to that. And so that is part of the problem today that I mentioned to Solomon. I want to re-enter federal court, and I want to reverse the record on him, and I want to go backwards with reparations, whatever that amount of money is for the family, whatever the family decides to do with that money. Whatever they say, like we're going to add 4% annualized interest to that from the year of 1832 coming forward, and the amount of that is $976,000 from the Department of the VA. Whatever, that's for all y'all to decide to do. And I want his proper headstone to be put from the Veteran Affairs Department,
correct,
from the United States, at his grave. So I will see you all again in Massachusetts at a grave ceremony. I swear I will see you in Massachusetts, okay? It may be in the year of 2029,
Right.
okay? I've got plenty of time,
Yeah.
okay? We've waited hundreds of years as it is now, okay? It's all good. But those are the main goals, and I can tell you my experience from the 1300s. When 23andMe came back to me and said, we have exhumed the body of the first tourist in history, who's known as the father of the first humanist in history. His name is Petrarch. He invented the Petrarchan sonnet. We have exhumed his body in Italy, and we are now informing you through DNA analysis that this is your ancestor.
wow,
It was like, holy crap, I'm still reading his books right now. They're this thick from the 1300s. Writer and scholar to popes and kings, and unbelievable, okay? And a guy liked his sonnets. His name was Shakespeare, and started to write them, and they became very famous, the sonnet. So these things are possible, guys. It doesn't matter how far-fetched you may think. Like, I'm sure they're not going to get like any DNA out of the coffin. If they got it from the 1300s, there's
They can
something
do it.
left in there.
That's
They
right.
can do
That's
it.
right.
That's
It
right.
may be bone matter, or they'll go in there with scrapings and get it and say,
Yeah.
this is material from a human body that we have verified through carbon-14 dating, and this is going to work, and now we will come back and tell you the DNA strand, and they'll actually show it to you.
mm-hmm.
And they'll have the mark, and they'll bring right back to where he is exactly from in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And when it all adds up and matches up, and we're all in 23andMe, the largest genomic database on Earth, then all of y'all are going to be boop, 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 receiving notifications like I got. This is a major event that has occurred with Ann Wojcicki, who was formerly married to one of the creators of Google, who owns 23andMe.com, the largest genomic database on Earth. You are a verified ancestor of Ishmael Titus. And you probably inherit, like Stormy and I have, we've inherited hundreds and hundreds of family members.
Mm-hmm.
They're like Jiffy Pop. They're coming up from here, coming up from there, from all over, and that's how you find out and prove who you are. But that's what we would like to do, to set the record straight. Now I got a little bit of help for you, and then I'm going to shut up. Get to the point. We had a gentleman over here, Mike Scoggins, a very famous historian who has passed away. He was looking for about $4,000 to get the microfiche records, because that's all that they're available on is fish, of General Green's orders, every order that General Green ever wrote. Okay, now there's a lot of stuff around here named after Green. Greenville, there's one at Greenville here in North Carolina, Greenville in South Carolina. You may wonder why, because General Gates sucked, the hero of Saratoga. He come down here, he ran the campaign down here. He abandoned his troops in Camden, left them to die, and rode off, okay? And so General Washington was very angry and said, you know, I want him, he's out, okay? And we're putting General Green in. So General Green come down here, took over the troops in Charlotte. This is where the exchange occurred of the control of the Southern Theater of troops. And for those of you here in the South, like me from the North, actually more battles were fought in the South during the entire Revolutionary War than anywhere else. About 4,600 total battles, more were fought in the South, okay? So sometimes history, people don't want to know the truth. They're upset about ripping statues that they've got ropes all around them and they're tearing them down. So they did that during the Revolutionary War.
They sure did.
They did that in New York with like ropes up in New York City with tens of thousands of people ripping statues down. That's nothing new. Okay, don't be all pretending like you're shocked and stuff. Okay, but Mike Scoggins from the Southern Revolutionary War Institute said, Marty, thank you for your donation. If you're ever wondering what this money goes to, well, I only gave $10. Yeah, 800 people gave $10. Okay, that's how we got the microfiche. Okay, then somebody sits there like an idiot going through the microfiche, reading tens of thousands of orders, and he come back and said, I now have a white officer's proof of exactly what Ishmael was saying in court is actually true. The battles that he fought at, and as the director, the executive director of the Southern Revolutionary War Institute, I would like to verify today in this email to you, Marty, that what you're looking for has been proven true. You probably just need to reapproach the VA or some type of federal court system and have the record reversed or have a new case adjudicated. And then get the federal headstone, get him listed in the Federal Register as a, everyone will automatically become eligible for the Sons of the American Revolution. Just like Dr. Henry Louis Gates, you may notice he mentioned one day that he became eligible to join the SAR and the Daughters of the American Revolution and all that. So I'm going to shut up now. Thank you, Solomon, so much. But this is what we would like to do. And Solomon said, Marty, it's really up to the family if they want to pursue this or not. It's not up to like him.
I'm in.
That's been the journey. That's been the journey. So we come to this place, guys, and it's been a process. It's going to continue to be a process. And like I said, all we have to do is stay under the covering of God. Do your due diligence. Always take care of our loved ones and offspring, and keep the line of communications open. No matter how far apart we are, they created some things that brought us even closer. As long as we do it the right way. And I'll be continuing the process with Marty and those powers to be to make things happen. I'll continuously keep you abreast of everything that's going on. And on that same note, I want everybody here to understand, you're here in this place for a reason today. And that reason is we have to be able to have disciples and advocates for the branches of the family that you touch. Because when you touch your branches of the family, they'll listen and understand the process because it's coming from you. You see? And when we come into 2022, 2023, depending on the process of what's going on downtown Charlotte with the construction and all that type of stuff, remember, I have already married the Gantt Center, have already married at least one location for our lodging in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like I said, 2022, 23, whichever comes with the appropriateness of what we need. And as many Titus family members that we have, that will be one of the largest family reunions and gatherings that we've ever seen and had in the history of our family. Because our California families are ready, our Florida families are ready, our New York families are ready, Chicago families are ready, Pennsylvania families are ready, all across the United States. Because I've been keeping in contact with everybody. So we do our due diligence. We come back here in a year or two, give our dedication to Ishmael, and continue the process of what you have to do behind the scenes for Ishmael, but still yet learning who we are and bringing us closer together to establish the foundation that we set in 2013, 15, somewhere around there. Because the family foundation is a functioning foundation, but it's just sitting there waiting for all the pieces to fall in place for us to do what we have to do for the future of our family. For the future of our family. I'm 61 years old Thursday.
You're looking great.
Last Thursday. 61 years old. I'm claiming 40 more years on this earth. I'm claiming it. And after that, I'm going to take my rest. But what we leave behind as a family is the lineage of who we are and where we come from and what they've done in order for us to be here. And just like Sage was asking, how do we know that he was a fighting, killing machine? Well, the Fulani people were not just educators, scholars, intellectual people. They were also warriors. Warriors by blood, because you had to learn to fight first. And then you became educated to be even a better fighter. That's just in us and who we are as a Fulani people. So again, I thank you, Marty.
Thank you so much.
Stormy. Is Melanie still here?
Melanie had to go.
I had to go check somebody in.
Okay.
Duty calls.
So that's what we have, folks. And listen, y'all know, and I want y'all to take this back to everybody that y'all touched on your bloodline or in the branches of the family. I love my family to the hilt. I love my family. And some of us, for an example, Josh, I didn't even know Josh existed. I didn't know Deidre existed. I didn't know Sage existed. I didn't know Barbara existed. I didn't even know Frederick Douglass existed. Until I started this journey. Found not only family from different years of bloodline, meaning between the 1800s, we had family that disappeared that are first doggone cousins. You see what I'm saying? I remember my mother saying, well, when Uncle Mac passed away, Pearl took the kids and we never seen them again. And here it is, 40-something years later, I see Pearl kids, the grandkids and great-grandkids. Only because of the research and the history of who we are as a people and trying to find out who we are.
Where are the Fulani from in Africa?
Fulani out of Cameroon and Sierra Leone.
Wow, Cameroon and Sierra Leone.
Cameroon and Sierra Leone. And that's how we ended up with Ishmael.
Wow.
Because he was considered the Cameroon side. See what it's...
And here I am, I talk every 2 days with the richest family in Sierra Leone and all the diamond and gold mines. And the oracle told me, you're to pair up with him.
Yes.
He calls me Neo, and I call him Morpheus.
Yeah.
So, and he's going to be listening to this thing.
So the other thing, you were talking about 23andMe. I joined an organization called African Ancestry, and they do the DNA testing for the matrilineal and patrilineal lineage, and they specifically do Africans. They have taken 900 different specimens from indigenous African tribes and clanspeople, and have come up with the DNA coding for over 900 tribes of Africans. And our family, and I can only do the matrilineal line. So my matrilineal line is the Titus line, because my grandmother is the daughter, my grandmother is the daughter of a Titus male.
Yeah.
But the women can't test for the patrilineal line. The males can test for the patrilineal line and the matrilineal line. They can figure out what matrilineal line their mother is, but the women cannot do that for the male line. So we are, as I told Solomon when I got the results back, that we are Fulani, and they are over 3 or 4 countries, because the borders have been, altered since those times. But Fulani people, the Fulani, the Igbo, who are the other ones? Solomon, what's the other group? Do you remember?
I can't recall.
Right, but they're spread out over like 4 territories. So it's like us. We've got people in Texas, and then we've got people in Chicago. Even though they're in different parts of the country, they're still family. See, so that's how it goes, and we just now knowing, what our African lineage is. So it's going to get easier. We're gonna find more and more stories about how we got here and what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
And what's so powerful about it is because growing up, and even the children now, we concentrate on slavery.
Yes.
That's our beginning and our origins.
Correct.
And that has been the detriment of us really having self-worth and not having that internalized oppression as if we're inferior.
There's a very famous lady historian, and she's always saying that on LinkedIn. Our history does not begin with the Civil War.
That's right.
And she goes, man, I was on the African conference for Lady Africa Power, and one of the gentlemen out of Guinea, he read for 18 minutes his speech about all the famous Phoenician queens, and because it was only about African women at that conference. And he just went on and on and on about these famous African women. He must have mentioned 12, 15 of them. It's all online. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
All right, guys. So,
Thank you.
any questions up to this point? Anybody? Anything?
I have a comment. Does anybody mind if I speak for a moment? Just a little moment. And I promise you I'll be brief. It's very important for us as the, if you will, the bedrock of this foundation, and organizing the family, because a family is a business. Whether or not you realize that, a family is a business. A dysfunctional family is a dysfunctional business. Our African ancestors have been and will always be entrepreneurs. We are not the kind of people who work for other people, which is why slavery is such an affront for us, and has been. But as Ishmael said, forgive me
Of my ignorance.
for my ignorance
For being a slave.
for being a slave. And he's not apologizing for being himself. he's apologizing for succumbing to slavery. So what I want to ask you all, or what I want to say to you all, and you have to base this upon your own capabilities, your own resources, and your own consciousness. We spend money on shoes, drugs, clothes, food. We tithe, some of us, those of you who are connected to churches, we tithe. We do all of these things outside the scope of how our own family is affected. Nobody from outside of the family, perhaps bar this gentleman right here, has done anything to uplift, uncover, rediscover, or remember your family. This is your link to everything that you are and everything that you know about yourself and everything that you'll be able to tell your children in the future about who you are, where you've been, and why you're here. I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, put $5 away every week to make that a contribution to the things that Solomon has to do. It's not free. Even if it costs money, it also costs time. And we don't all have the time, and we don't all have the money. But some of us have a little bit of money, and some of us have a little bit of time. Whatever you can do, can you make a phone call? Can you do some research? I bought him a computer. I said, Solomon, you can't do this going to the library. You can't do this like this. I had to do it. I can do without something. I got every damn thing. I got everything. I have everything. So whatever I can do to help him on his journey, that's what I need to do. And I beg you, family, I beg you to do something that puts you outside of your comfort zone. Just a little bit. That's all. $5 a month. You know, $5 a month at the end of the year, that's what, $70? $72? $72 will buy us, it'll buy us a half an hour of editing. You know, it'll buy us a case of these folders that he needs, and the plastic. These are the things that have to be done, and they'll only get done because we do them. Imagine, he's been doing this for 16 years. Imagine if he had our help. Imagine. This would have been done by now, right? So let's get it on.
Thank you.
Let the party begin. All right, everybody. God bless. God bless.
So Marty's gonna escort us over to the battle, and that will conclude our day for the day.
And we just need to get a group photo.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely.
Before we all leave.
Oh, this is
And
awesome.
Morpheus?
We got all kinds of angles here.
I am
so we
saying
can
goodbye
put
to you, Morpheus,
Put this thing
from
together.
Sierra Leone. We will talk later.
So good.